Oh. Evening, Benjamin. How are you doing?
Good evening, Lee. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm all good, all good. Are you looking forward to David's recap tank tour, which is what we're here for tonight?
I
Looking forward
am
to it?
looking forward to it. Yes, 100%.
So am I. I've been playing with myself all week, just getting ready for it.
Well,
And
as you're well
he's
aware, I've got tank envy.
um, he's stuck in traffic, so he's not even going to do it.
Brilliant.
So it's just
So it's
me and you. Like the Formula One when they're about to kick off at 3 o'clock in an afternoon and it starts raining.
yep.
They have to figure out what they're going to talk about, don't they? So since we'd had 2 minutes before we went live to discuss absolutely nothing apart from Ben just got his boobs out. What are we talking about tonight then, Ben?
That's a good question. That's a very good question. How about we talk about recap on what's gone on with my tank then, because I haven't been on for a couple of weeks.
Oh, go on then.
So I've reduced my dosing because I was getting too high numbers of calcium. So I've had to reduce my part 2 of my dosing, which is not a bad thing. But then as I was reducing my part 2, my alkalinity then started to shoot up really high because the alk was what's the word? It is it the calcium and obviously the alkalinity and conjunction, aren't they? If there's too much calcium, the alkalinity doesn't rise after a certain amount of calcium levels.
Okay, I'll just nod.
Yeah. Well, with the Reefs elements, that's anyway. Anyway, my alkalinity was starting to rise quite sharpish, so I've reduced my alkalinity dosing as well, my part 1, and now it's all coming down slowly. Well, it's come down over the last couple of weeks, but my calcium's still quite high. It's in at 475.
475 calcium.
Yeah, ppm.
Right.
It was at 550.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it was at 550, and my magnesium was fine. My magnesium was 1450. But I was dosing for my tank it was something like 40 mil a day I was putting in. So now I've reduced it fourfold to about 10 mil a day, and it's in the space of 2 weeks it's gone from 550 to 475. But my magnesium has now dropped to 1310. Hang on, I just did it today. No, 1350 is what my magnesium is now at. I mean, I know that's still within parameters, within range. I know that what natural sea level is 1300.
Or even lower. 12 something, I think. 12 something, I think natural sea level.
So even lower. So yeah, just waiting for it to go down, get it to the right place. Other things, I bought a new coral from the shop. That's sitting in my frag rack at the moment on the side, just acclimating to my tank.
What coral did you buy?
A green acropora. I don't know the species exactly.
The barley slimer one.
No, I've got barley slime already.
All right.
It's just a green acro. No polyps or anything on it. It's just like a stalk. Very
right.
Anyway, a green acro.
Yeah, fair enough. Are you into all the names of corals, Ben? Are you?
No, no, not at all.
Does it nerd you out of the names of corals?
No, it doesn't. To be fair, it confuses me more than anything. Especially the designer names. People having Gold Torch 24K Gold Torch, Aussie Gold Torch, or like the Firecracker thing, and I just go, just tell me, is it an SPS? I like the color. I want to buy it. You know,
Is it 20 quid or is it a tenner?
yeah, exactly. Don't steal all my money from my wallet, please. leave me some bus money left over.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, all my fish are doing brilliantly. Oh, I did add a load more crustaceans in, so snails, cleanup crew. I bought a load of Mexican turbos, a couple of normal astrias, a couple of normal turbo snails. They're all right. I think I lost a couple of them, as you do, because the turbos, the normal turbos, they just fall on the back, and then
yeah,
that's them done. But yeah, I've added two of your corals. Was it two of your corals? Yes, I did. I added the little tree, the little fuzzy acro, like the fuzzy tree.
Pochlopora.
Yes. Pochlopora, and I also added that SPS that you said that turns green on the base, but it's like a brown. It's like a purpley color. But in the middle, it turns green right in the center, depending on light.
The Miyagi Talk one, or
yes, that's it.
I can't remember.
It's the purple. It's the purple. Yeah, another SPS. You know me. I'm in my SPSs at the moment. I'm really enjoying them.
Yes.
I've had no corals. I've had one coral bleach a little bit on one end, but that's because I fiddled with flow, and I don't think it's liked the flow.
Right.
I've randomized more of my flow, and I've changed a little bit of the direction of the flow. Instead of my gyro pushing water upwards to the top, creating like a wave, a full, disturbance of the surface. I've now actually brought it down a bit, so that I get more. I just wanted to get more of that flowy effect, other than just the roll as the water then goes from there all the way across and then down and then back. It's now actually starting here in the middle and then just going down. So it's bleached half of it, and the other half is shielded by its dead carcass. So it's still alive. I'm too fussed with it, but I'm now learning with certain SPS, especially SPSs with lots of polyps, external polyps. Yep. They don't want as much flow as what I've realized. I've learned that they like a low to moderate flow, not high flow. So I'm learning. I've learned that, but everything else is fine. I mean, the copper band's doing good, which was obviously the challenge, the big challenge I had over the last couple of months, keeping it alive. But it's eating. Yeah. It's brilliant.
So tell us again what you're feeding your copper band at the moment.
So I feed my copper band Californian blackworm, which is a tropical feed. I feed it Tubiflex live.
Ooh.
Oh, these are all live. I feed it live brine. It does like brine shrimp, and live Aptasia from my sump as a treat. So
as a treat.
As a treat, and also to maintain the Aptasia population in my sump.
Right,
so
fair enough.
I can't get it on frozen feed at the moment. I'm hoping for Christmas I get a 3D printed, or I've asked my other half for an angelfish / copper band feeder, magnetic feeder.
Right.
Where then I can put some live brine with frozen brine inside there. So, as it slowly seeps out the little holes, he'd be the only one that can get his beak in there, or his mouth, if you want to call it. And hopefully he will eat then the frozen with the live, and then start to associate frozen food as a good food to eat. I mean, it's one of the most difficult fishes I've ever actually had to think about how much money I've spent on that fish alone to eat.
It's just randomness that, sat watching one at the moment. He's grazing the rocks though, isn't he? like naturally
Yes.
hunting, scavenging. Yeah.
Yeah, he I've seen him from. Well, this I don't know whether you have the same issue or if you've got a copper band, haven't you not?
There's a copper band in the here, yes.
So I like to describe a copper band as slow, as like it
slow in the head.
yeah, like dumb, because you feed the tank, all the fish go crazy. As in, like most fish, you have that urge to want to eat and find, and eat it as quick as they can. Whereas the copper band will look at it, get scared at the food, then realize it's food, go to it, but then can't get to it because by that point it's already moved. The flow has moved the food a bit further on. So it's like constantly behind itself in thought. It's funny to watch. But so I have to turn my wave makers off and feed heavy so that he can get some. But when, like you say, the food gets stuck in the crevices of rocks and whatnot, he will pick it off when he sees it.
Yeah, yeah.
But
How
yeah,
do you know? How do you know it's a he, Ben?
I don't. It could be a she.
Ooh,
I don't. Is there a way of sexing a copper band?
no.
No, that's a shame. I would like to know because then I would have a name for said copper band.
Said copper band. So the copper band is definitely non-binary.
Non-binary, so they or them.
Idiot.
But yeah, no. I mean, other than that, not much has changed. I'm due to replace all my CO2 scrubber media. I need to replace it because it's spent. That didn't last long.
Have you noticed the difference with that?
I noticed. Yeah, I did. So my pH was averaging about 7.9 to 8 with the media, and now that I'm not the media spent, it's dropped back down to 7.7.
All right.
So
have you seen a difference in like coral growth and stuff like that, or?
I would have to wait a couple of weeks, but I do know that
the pause, Ben, was no. I've not seen a total difference.
No,
No.
I mean, to be fair, no, I have. No, you're making me think, but no, there is one of the acros that's finally started splitting, and it's split quite a few ways, and that was when the pH was higher. It was all that was all occurring. But now that it's gone back to 7.7, if I give it a couple of weeks at that, will it extend, or will it just sit there now until the pH increases again? I did notice when the higher pH there was more consumption of trace elements. That's for sure. I mean, as in my alkalinity swings were a lot bigger, from usage during the midday when it was like midday, the lights were halfway through the schedule when it was really high light and UV, the alk would drop significantly, to where now it's sitting at a stable amount. So there is usage there. So I want to increase it again, and I need to get more media.
Are we definitely having lights from Santa Claus, or are we on the back burner with them? Or
well, I'm still waiting to see when my payslip. I haven't received it yet. So once I receive it, I know that the shop said you guys have ordered Z light that I want. That's in back order. Now I don't know whether that's going to be the shop light or a for sale light.
Both, I think.
So as long as it's the 153 model, I will be coming over to buy one. I've already said, obviously I did all that extra work, didn't I, last month for the said reason. I want that light. And I know, obviously, I will recoup some of my cost with selling these lights. So, I mean, they're not like they're not like they're bad lights. So,
no, still a brilliant light.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's just I've
just done some PAR readings that will be part of my stupidity during next week, and I mean, they're still packing a decent punch,
Oh yeah.
even though they're an old light. That's the thing. They're still very, very good.
I do notice with the Hydras, you just got to make sure the lenses stay clean. I'm assuming that's actually, to be fair, when I'm saying that, it's probably the same for any light. Is if the lenses get a bit of salt creep, the build-up, you just need to wipe them off every couple of weeks or a month. Just give them a wipe with some RO water on a cloth, and to keep obviously the lenses to clean to give the best readings.
That's it. So obviously, we're now obviously we're meant to be doing a tank tour of a recap of Dave's tank. Now you've seen the original tank tour as such.
Yep.
Which one was more down your alley? The 2-foot cube with a gajillion bits of equipment on it, or his new fragging setup?
I like both. I did like both. I mean, when I obviously I've been to his property and was lucky enough to obviously look at his tanks, geek out like we all do, and with other people's tanks, we like to study them.
Yeah.
I mean, his 2-foot cube, brilliant corals in there. You know,
Yeah.
And again, though, I still think having an Apex system on a 2-foot cube, it's excessive. I find that excessive. But again, you see the result. You see the results, though. So clearly that the Apex system and how he's using it, he's obviously using it to the benefit of his corals because they're beautiful. Reference to his frag tank, that's just a different. That's like the level I want to go to. I want to progress to grow corals like that as a maybe a small coral farm, personal little farm, and how he's built that personally, all DIY is brilliant. And that's when you say geeking out, he's geeked out hard on that to where I had technology envy of how he built like that iPad on the wall, which just constantly showing the readings with all the little function buttons, mechanical buttons to I want to replace water or I want to do this or all the other little functions on it. Brilliant.
Yeah. And that's it. That obviously it is all sort of paying off because obviously he is a busy man. I mean, for the what? I mean, I've known Dave obviously personally now for like 7-8 months, but before that as just a customer in the shop, very much similar to yourself and what have you. And obviously he's very like technical in what he does and the way that he thinks. But then obviously when you get to see him practice what he's actually done, he has gone very geeky. But then of all of the stuff that he does, of like snowboarding, he was waxing his snowboard the other day and he's off jet skiing on the back of some jet ski and building stuff and laser etching and all sorts of wonderful bits of kit. And that are basically boys' toys. It's a wonder he gets any time to do anything else. I mean, sometimes it's just nice just to sit down with a beer and enjoy yourself.
I totally agree with you. It's sometimes nice to have a beer in front of your fish tank and just sit, like you say, and just watch. Because I think most people who are in this hobby have their moments. Like for me, it's brilliant. I have my dinner on my table where I'm talking to you from my dinner table. I like sitting obviously on the opposite side or on the end, and I will eat and watch the tank. Yeah. And I don't have to have a conversation with the other half, which obviously does her head in when she wants to talk about the day or whatnot. And I'm more interested in the fish tank. Going, oh, look at that's changed. Oh, and you start to see the little changes, the details.
Yeah.
So.
And that's it. It's a long period of time that it takes for things to happen. And sometimes when you sit, I mean, looking at the favia that's in here now, I can see where it's touching the rock and where it's about to start growing onto the rock. And it's been there for in that position probably 3 months now, something like that.
Yeah.
But obviously it's now going to start growing onto the rock. And the thing being that if I was to take it off the plug, it may have grown round the plug all the way down the stem to then touch,
Yeah.
to then come back up. So there's a lot of growth that you don't actually see. And obviously when I'm doing like the tiles and stuff like that, you can have basically the size of your mobile phone, and you think that it's only just touched the edge, but then you pick it up and turn it over, and it's grown basically the majority of the back that you don't even see the growth. So it's very, very clever how they work.
I've got to admit, you like you say, that for me gives me great enjoyment, and I bet it does you. I mean, being able to grow, I find that really enjoyable, especially when you see the growth. And I mean,
Yeah.
it's obviously a nice surprise that obviously, like you say, if you're flipping your frag plugs over or your discs over and they're growing underneath as well, that's brilliant. And you know, that's a surprise. That's a nice surprise. I mean, for me at the moment, you know, the frags I made,
Yep.
ages ago. So my Zoas have gone crazy. They've covered the whole plugs now. I mean,
Yep.
if by rights now, if I brought them to a shop, they would sell. That size, £5-10, they'd easily go. They would easily sell now. So that's
Yep.
made me happy. So I know that I'm doing something right. My fire start, well, the cracker polyps are doing well. I mean, the toxic splatter hammer that used to be nice and puffy,
Yep.
it is very retracted, but it hasn't died. It's been like that for months, and from looking at it, it's splitting, and that's why I think that's why it's been so retracted. Is because it's splitting, and
Yep.
you know,
It's using all of
I
its
don't know if
energy to pinch.
exactly. And I'm the type of guy who, when I see something like my frog spawn, same thing. When it starts to retract, I think something's wrong. So I think I have to do something to change it. So, you know, where now I realize that hammer, when it was the splatter hammer, where I originally put it in the tank in the middle height, glued down, I should have just left it there.
Yeah.
But now it's on the frag rack. And it's been on the frag rack because I thought, you know what, it's going to die. I'm going to leave it. If it bails, it's done for. But it hasn't. It's actually splitting. So again, you like you say, sometimes I find in this hobby, you just need to stay calm and not panic every time. Because I'm that type of person where I go, fuck, it has to change. I need to change something. I need to change my lighting. I need to change my flow. Something's making that coral unhappy. I need to figure what it is. And sometimes it's, you're doing everything right. Leave it the hell alone, and you will see the reward. You just take good time.
It's exactly the same as being married, and then you look and you go, "There's something wrong with you," and they go, "No, I'm fine," and then you go, "I can tell by your answer that there's something wrong with you," and you literally just poked the bear as such, the wasp nest, and then it all kicks off, and then there is something wrong. If you just look and then go, "I'm just not going to go there," then your life is just so much easier.
Exactly.
So much easier.
Exactly, and because I mean, I did the ICP test. You know, the Elements ICP test that I purchased a while back. Got the results. All my main parameters were perfect. It was like some of the very small parameters that were a bit off. And my salinity was 1.23.9 or what, you know, like it's 1.24 in all of words. That was the only thing, but it was like cobalt. You're a bit low, or haven't read it a little bit. Cobalt or chromium was one of them, and you know, all the heavy metals. Yeah, molybdenum. I'm a bit low on molybdenum and whatnot, but those. I mean, yes, obviously the corals might need them. Certain corals might need them more than others, but it's not ones that would kill a coral off if there's none of them in there. It will have more effect on colours of the corals than anything else.
Yeah.
So
portion of chip
again
and a fish, but then adding gravy just makes it that extra little bit.
Yeah.
Just trace elements are, if the like massive depletion of trace elements, then obviously it's a mega problem. But just being off by little bits is not anything to. There's a lot of people that do marine tanks that never do ICP tests. So
no, yeah, Well, yeah, I mean,
Sometimes,
I just do water changes now. Like I said, I do water changes. I'm due. I did one last week. I do one once every 2 weeks. So I'm due to do another one next weekend.
right?
So, and I do see changes. Obviously, my alkalinity swings big when I do a water change. It swings
Yeah, it will,
quite
won't it?
heavily. It goes
Yeah.
because I'm now sitting at about 8.1, 8.2 ish, and when I do it, it goes like to 8.6. So, it's obviously a high alk sol, which is fair enough, and then it just naturally drops down and goes and stabilizes over the couple of weeks. So
Yeah, but as a swing of from 8 and 8.6, it's not that much of an issue.
no, it
It's not an
stays
issue
between
at all.
8 and 9.
Yeah,
No, it isn't an issue at all. I mean, everything's happy. I'm happy. I mean, what have you had any interesting things happen over the last couple of weeks with your tanks?
So on this one, obviously I've now moved all the rock away and moved the wave makers and things like that, and it's doing my head in because there's now too much flow in the system, and it's created a bare bottom. And I know how to cure it, and the way to cure it is to turn the flow down. But that sort of defeats the object of how it was meant to be set up. And then I've not cleaned the glass for ages and ages and ages. I've now put a pair of mandarins in here.
Right.
So the girl is more of the common green, but the boy seems to be more red, like a red mandarin. And I know that you do buy them like as pairs of reds or pairs of commons, but it looks as though the boy is very, very red. And they're going around picking and doing what they need to do. But then on one of my videos, I talk about there's not actually a lot of flow that goes into this tank. So when you actually look at it, you can see now that there's a little bit of a gap there.
Yep.
So I don't know who did the install on this tank, but the gap of an inch on this side is actually probably a quarter of an inch on that side.
Right.
Whoever did the install didn't level it out.
Well, that's not good because in the long run that can cause stress on the seams.
It could do, but at least you'll see it live, or at least on a video during the week.
When it splits.
When it splits and there's water pissing all over, it might make good coverage. You never know. And then because it's a tropical tank, obviously all I did was, it was the first time that I ever decided to drill glass. So I drilled a hole in the glass. And obviously I've not made the hole big enough, but I've only put one hole in it. So there's only one way for the water to escape, and it's not big enough. I decided the other day that I was going to turn the flow up a little bit, so putting more water into the tank to try and get a little bit rid of this. And then I came in the day after, and my return pump was like really, really like gassing, blaring at me. And I looked down, and it had run out of water. And I was like, oh, right, it's run out of water. Then I looked up, and I turned the auto top off. I was messing about with the system. So obviously, I've turned the auto top off. And then what I decided to do was obviously increase the water level. So I put a little bit of RO into there to level it off. Not a problem. Turn the RO back on. Made sure that was full. And then I'm sat and it's like spitting water in. And then, all right. Then it's spitting water in. And I'm like, all right. Then it's spitting water in. And I'm like, what's going on here? And then all of a sudden I look down and there was still no water in the return bit because this was not draining properly. And it was literally up to the top. If I'd have put an extra spit in it, it would have been flowing over the top. I've now had to turn the flow back down again. So there is literally, I mean, if you were to slow pour a beer. This is the slow pour a beer. That's probably the amount of water that goes into this header tank constantly.
Your flow is, as in to return, is very slow
Yeah.
or low.
I don't do any. So I don't do any mechanical, in theory, filtration using the sump. So the sump technically is just basically for the salt fluctuation. It's not really for, or I don't run protein skimmers. I don't really run filter floss because there's only a couple of fish in there, and I never really struggle with phosphate or nitrates. Obviously, I'm bucketing reefroids in every day into the systems, and polyp booster. I've got some more polyp booster today. I like using that. But then obviously it then gives me the opportunity now to set side by side and do basically put a coral on this side and put exactly the coral on that. Very, very similar way of setting it up. But the lighting on this side is going to be exactly the same spectrum as that. Well, I say spectrum, exactly the same light settings on this one as it is on that one, but I'm just going to turn all of the white off on that channel. And I'm not 100% sure what's going to happen. So if it's entertaining me and it's something I'm interested in, then maybe.
I used to run my tank on monoglue.
You'll have obviously not seen my video because nobody watches my videos during the week anymore because I'm just a lunatic.
I mean, no.
So I'll fill you in, since you don't actually watch me, of the corals that I've kept in this tank. And I think if you watch one of my videos, the exact words are, so on this rock, I've kept a favia because it's just about to start growing onto the rock. And it'd be a shame to disturb it. And the other one is a green mushroom. And the only reason I'm keeping that green mushroom is because Ben's killed all his. And I could go, ha, 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 I've got one of Ben's corals.
Yeah. Brilliant. Okay. Fair play. Fair play. You do know that I used to run my tank with no whites?
Yes. But you've now gone back. You've now put white into the spectrum.
I have. That's right. I've put white back in just because I'm running SPSs. I did it with softies. I ran blues, no white, because I didn't want algae growth. I wanted a minimal algae growth.
And was there anybody that you could see on YouTube that was putting an Acropora under both lighting conditions and boring people to death for a year about it? Is there anybody that does that?
Yeah, you.
Yeah,
but what acro you put in?
So you know the little green one that's in the shop?
Yeah.
The one that's right at the front. I'll put one of those in to start with, just to see how it goes. Because I've got quite a few frags of it. And then a hammer of some description on the bottom, right in the middle. But I mean, these lights right in the middle.
You put your par readings out.
So tune in on Tuesday, Ben. That's all I'll say.
I could see.
Yeah. So it was quite interesting, but then very boring all at the same time.
Yeah. Well, though it is interesting because I mean, you're going to give it now a year's worth of growing to see. Yeah,
potentially. So all I'll say, Ben, is my highest par reading is where there is no rock at all.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. I was like, if only you could have thought about it, Lee.
It's the same on mine. The highest par rating when there's no rock.
stupid.
Did you use the par meter of our good friend Dave?
Yes, I did.
What do you think to it?
It does a job, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It gives you a so obviously par readings. It's a little bit of a thing that a lot of people in the hobby would never have ever done it. So being able to use a par meter isn't something that's every day in the hobby, because they're an expensive bit of kit.
Yeah.
But just having a basic understanding of the point of your light, the highest par is always going to be right at the top, right underneath, and then it's always going to dissipate going out.
Yep.
That would give you the basic understanding of positioning of coral. But I will explain it on Tuesday, because obviously I'll show you, but I'll give you a little bit behind the scenes then. So the rock that's on this side, it's only a rock that's probably about this sort of size. And if you say on this side compared to this side of the exact same piece of rock, literally about that space apart, there was a difference of 10 par. Within
that with flow on or off?
So all the flow turned off, all the returns turned off, and no rippling across the surface. But obviously, if you pick the point of where the light is, and then move it across by what I'm going to say 6 inches, Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously you didn't get a reference because you can't see my 6 inches, Ben.
Oh my God. such a shit joke. Right.
There wasn't a lot of space between it. But yeah,
10 power is marginal. Really, 10 power is marginal, because obviously when you turn your flow on, that could become a difference of 20 to 30 power with, shimmer and all sorts.
But obviously then working out from the triangle, the light spectrum, because these are only let's say 10 inches above the water, the lights, something like that. So it's quite a focused triangle rather than being a high, broad triangle.
Yeah.
It's quite focused. And the rock that's in the middle, which is obviously half on one side of the par and half on one spectrum, half on the other side, to get basically a pyramid in the middle. Right at the top, there wasn't a great deal of difference between that light and this light. But the more central that you go, right underneath this light or right underneath that light, there was quite a big difference in par. So,
yeah, well, I am right saying it's the 26s on top of that tank.
It is 26s, yes.
Yeah, so I've got the same, obviously, but I'm running the height is a lot higher. Yeah, I'm running them at 14 inches above the water.
So when you do your lighting, are you running an actual schedule of somebody?
Yes.
Right, fair enough. So what I've done differently on this is I've run it to a wattage. So rather than doing a spectrum as such, I've based it on a cost. So what sort of bang for your buck? Because we all know that if you turn these lights right to the max, they're going to give you better results than running it on a budget. But to say that you've got a 5-foot tank behind you with 4 lights on it, if all of those were running, I mean, some of these lighting schedules, you can run 80-90 watts across 4 lights on a 12-hour schedule. You might as well just throw fun coupons out the window.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what my wattage is. I should really look, but I know I'm running at 71% on my highs.
Yeah.
On my highest part of my schedule, but that's on my blues coming up to what time are we now? In 20 minutes, it will go to really high blues.
Yeah.
And in UV will everything else tapers off, but the blues go hell, they jump, and
If you
that's for
if
obviously
you
for
look,
more of a viewing.
if you look at the if you were to put every single channel to 50%, even your reds and your greens and things like that, put them to 50% across the board, and then dial them back to see just how much energy that channel is actually using. The UV and the violet use a lot of energy
Yeah, they
because
do.
they're dissipating a lot of heat, which is why they burn out. And obviously,
Yeah,
if you're running a UV at above, say, 80%, something like that, you're going to burn your lenses out. Whereas to bring it down to both of these lights are only running 50 watts, which in the grand scheme,
that's not a lot.
no, not a lot in the grand scheme of things. And again, that will be because a lot of people say, I say a lot of people say, there are a lot of people that say lights over time lose their intensity, which they do.
They do.
So,
It's
so buying one of these off of eBay, I don't know what sort of money you're going to want for yours. I would roughly say probably 100, 125 quid, something like that, maybe.
no, that's high. I think
You reckon?
I think I'll be asking somewhere between like 80 to 100. I would have thought
Right.
to get rid of them.
Yeah, yeah. So if you said an £80 light above the 2 foot cube that's at the front of the shop,
Yeah,
one of these lights above that 2 foot cube would be really, really good and would make a brilliant system. But obviously, these lights are 8 years old, 10 years old, maybe something like that.
yeah,
So to run the light on a 50-watt spectrum on a 10-year-old light, can I still grow Acropora? Can I still grow all the stuff that people say is hard to grow? And then obviously, in the hobby, oh well, you can't grow Acropora because your lights are too old. Well, is that the case? Because when Gillette made a razor blade back in the day when everybody shaved, it was the best a man could get. But then the year
yeah,
after, it was the best a man could get again. Exactly the same as mobile phones. Mobile phones probably an iPhone, say 10, something like that, was the best you could get. But now we're on iPhone 17, which is exactly the same phone.
yeah. So
But the only reason,
no, you're right. I mean, working on these lights, personal opinion, LED diodes have a marginal, how do you say that, like loss of intensity. Really, it's more the lenses, and especially like the UV, obviously on 26s tend to burn, but
yeah,
it's more of the time it's the lens that needs replacing, and you. As reef keeper, especially these lights, the one thing you got to just pay attention for is lens burn on the UV. You don't want the plastic burning on the LED, because once it burns
yeah,
on the LED, it's a nightmare to get the plastic off without ruining the UV bulb, well,
yeah.
the UV diode. On other news, though, maybe you can back me up or give me more information. I've heard that D&D and AI are looking at restarting up, making up parts for the 26s again and the 52s to actually bring up the part stock again.
So I was talking to the rep about getting some parts for these 26ers, and it wasn't overconfident of doing it, to be fair.
All right, because I heard
The
that
thing is,
people
it's
were
an American
starting
company, isn't it?
to,
It's an
yeah,
American
well,
company, so it's whether we can get them in the UK. But
yeah,
then,
I've heard rumors about it. So
yeah, I mean, they're still a very, very good light, and if you can get people into the AI side of things, or obviously Radeon's At the minute, they're on Gen 6. I would presume that Gen 7 is coming out next year. I don't really know, but they're doing some heavy discounts on Gen 6s at the moment.
So, you're all right? You're looking at something.
I'm sorry. I'm listening to. I'm watching a comment that you can't see. So we'll pick the bones out of this one. Here we go. Let's see whether he actually knows his stuff. Yeah. See, I think he's full of shit. I think he's full of shit. And
I mean,
you know,
Techie just gets better over time. Don't mean the old lights are bad. It's just new ones are a little bit better. I mean, it's just more to do with efficiency, really, isn't it? Like you say, if you've got an LED or a new light with the intensity being, the bulb being apparently that much better or intensity being higher, you're going to burn your corals out, aren't you? You're going to bleach them and kill them. It's more probably to do with efficiency on the same spectrum. So it's better efficiency, less cost to running it.
Yeah.
And obviously features. It's all about features these days.
I thought you said pictures. Then it's all about features.
No, it's all about features. Features. Like now you've got like these are Wi-Fi. Now you've got the newer version lights run on Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, and they don't just run on 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. They now run on the new normal band, the full band wave that you get. And it's like, what's it? I know these ones have these features, but acclimatization mode, you've got the weather mode, you've got the lightning, you can set it to a certain region with certain lights. So you can set it to like, the equator near Brazil or whatever it is, whatever the weather there is, that's the weather where your corals are in Australia. If you like Australian corals for a particular reason. I mean, features now have become a really big thing where you don't really.
Is there a lighting setting to replicate dreary Scunthorpe?
Oh God, no! I mean, why would you want to do that? Everything would just die. Let's be honest. Corals have no
life out of you rather than anything else.
yeah, exactly. But no, I mean, the reasoning why I want to sell these and go to that ATI Stratton. I mean, going to Aqua this year was brilliant. Seeing the reviews so far, brilliant. And again, for me, it's just using less power. Efficiency, isn't it? I mean, brilliant lights. If I was having another system, I would keep them, obviously, and they would be running on there. But I'm not at the moment, so I'm selling them. But for me, it's to do with efficiency. Save a bit of money for me, probably the efficiency and intensity is going to be better, so I can run them at a lower setting. And I don't have to think with the Strattons, the Stratton that I would like, looking at the features, they already have presets made for different types of corals. So they've got a mix setting mode, they've got an acro, SPS or LPS or whatever. They've got all sorts, and you could just select it, and then you're done. You put the duration in, and it tells you as long as the light is mounted at what we recommend, this should be what the power reading should be, which is impressive, isn't it? I mean, that they know, and it's pretty accurate to what it should be.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But yeah, it is getting better, and obviously, but the difference in the way that I'm doing my YouTube as such to everybody else is doing, such as your tank with the brand new lights on, and then showing all of the features of this is the best that you can get, and this is what you can do with the best lights. But you've basically got a Ferrari sat in your living room then, because it's an expensive tank. Your best part of $1,000 on top of it in lighting.
Yeah.
Just the amount of beer that you can buy for $1,000, Ben. I mean,
really. You with your beers. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, £1,000 worth of freaking alcohol, that would be brilliant, wouldn't it? That'd be crazy. That would be a crazy couple of nights. You wouldn't be able to drink that in one night. You would kill yourself. But yeah.
Well, give it a go. Challenge accepted, Ben. Challenge accepted.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, obviously they're trying to get more people into the hobby of you can set up a marine tank nowadays that they're all doing these nano tanks and things like that. And a nano tank, the tank that's at the front of the shop is 225 quid. You put a 10-year-old Hydra 26 above the top of it. Even if you said 80 quid for one of Ben's ones, maybe 100 quid for one of Ben's ones, then you're 350 quid into the hobby and you could have a really, really, really nice tank.
Yeah, 100%.
And then obviously going off of that, you then learn how to do it and then you progress to the next bit. And you're always in this increasing things and making things better, but you're still part of the hobby. And it's a very expensive hobby to get into right at the beginning. And if you just do all the expensive stuff, then you need to have a second mortgage or just be rich as like you. I wouldn't say rich as bitches then, but
I'm not rich. You are right though. Like when I started, everything was secondhand. Still, to be fair, most of my stuff is secondhand. But I started off, like you say, with the small. What was it? What tank did I start with? The 160. The Red Sea. Was it Red Sea 150 or 160 or whatever it's called? Whatever it is. The small cube. And like you say, I bought a secondhand light, came with it, which was an AI Hydra 26. And as from there, I've progressed and started to spend more money as I've started to learn how to keep stuff alive. And you just try and it's just moving on. It's just progression in the hobby, isn't it?
Yeah. And that's it. You've only been in the hobby 2 years. 2 and a bit years.
Yeah, 2 and a bit coming to 3. Yeah.
I'm going to say it can't be more than 3 because I've only been in the shop 3 years as of February next year. So
yeah, 2 and a bit.
2 and a bit.
But yeah, no, it's just progression of the hobby, and don't get me wrong, I do enjoy it. I do sometimes get frustrated, like most people do.
Is that because of me, then?
No, it's because of the fish tank. You don't frustrate me. It takes a lot for people to annoy me. But references when things start going wrong, that's when it frustrates me. For example, today, literally before we started this call and started having our live stream, my RoboFoss reactor, I thought, the pump that runs the RoboFoss reactor, every couple of days, it's got a sponge filter over the top of the intake of the pump. I take it off, clean it, put it back on. I had a look at the RoboFoss. It's been running for about 3 weeks, 4 weeks. It's starting to get gunk in there and a bit blocked. So I thought, right, it's time to open it up, replace the RoboFoss, continue on. The connection on the top of the RoboFoss just snapped on. The plastic elbow, as I was trying to, wiggle it so that it would slide off the nipple, it just snapped. And I just, you just have that moment of, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that can be annoying, especially when it's something that only takes about 10 minutes to take out, empty it out, get some new RoboFoss in, wash the RoboFoss out, put it in, and then connect it all back up. 10-minute job. It's now taking me half an hour, 40 minutes. So.
Oh dear.
Like you said with your tank, with your cutting it too small of a hole where you should have really cut a bigger hole.
Yep. But I'm now buggered basically. But then obviously
you're not.
Well, I am and I'm not.
Go on.
Because there is a thought. I have actually thought about it. So the idea is run this as it is now, grow things on the rocks, and then when it gets to the point where the rocks are established, I will do some sort of silly competition that people can have that particular rock that they've seen. Yep. And then this bit here will be big enough to put a brand new 4-foot system in. and then do pretty much what
Yeah, but-
you've done.
Have you got is there a lid on that system?
No.
Right. So you can change the flow to the return to the sump.
Ooh. Oh,
All
by
you need
putting a
to
gearbox on it.
No. All you need to
What?
do is get some plastic pipe as a plastic tubing, you know, bend it 90 degrees, or even hard plastic pipe, you know, that's curved. Connect an isolator on it, you know, a variable valve to open and close it. And all you
Yeah.
need to do is hook it on, put it down to the sump. Obviously, the suck on the end of the pipe part, you know, to get the flow. But once the flow starts, you then just adjust it.
And
And
what
you've got
happens
to
when
then,
the electricity goes off, Ben?
well, you know, it doesn't go off in your property, does it?
Does it not?
Oh, hang on. We live in Crawl. Yes, it does. Funnily enough,
you
a lot.
got a message 3 days ago to say, "Oh, sorry, your electricity went off."
Yes.
The
It
only
happened
problem
to me
is,
this
obviously,
last night.
You got sorry?
It happened last night.
Well, mine was Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. But I know when there's been a power cut because none of the internal batteries work on these Hydro 26s anymore. So every time I come in and it's off, I know I've had a power cut.
Yeah, no. That's Beth was saying.
I mean, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8, and I think there's only 2 of them that the internal batteries work. But I just can't be bothered to strip them all down and replace the internal batteries and then set them all back up.
That's lucky. Mine do have memory.
Yeah. But
yeah, no. I mean, there is that. You can do that. I mean, obviously, if it becomes a big issue, you can do that, and that you just have to check it every day.
Do you run one light that is the parent and then 3 children?
I do now. Yeah, I never did, and I always just used to run them all on their separate, the same. What's it called? The same preset.
Yeah.
But now I've done that. When you showed me and taught me how to do that, I just run it like that now.
Yeah,
it's easier.
But obviously, I have lights that come on different systems at different times, so it's not as if I could just run one parent because they run different lighting schedules. They run different intensities, so I literally have to go around and change them all. It's a pain in the ass. Yeah.
No, I can imagine.
Right, Benjamin, you have fulfilled your allotted time, which was meant to be David's.
So the recap on David's tank is it's actually Ben's tank, and my tank is brilliant in every way, shape, and form. Thank you, everyone, for watching.
So next week we may have to redo this all over again, but actually have David there.
We're going to punish him for not being here.
Yes, if there's somebody in the chitter chatters that's still in the chitter chatters that wants to come and talk to us, but not on a live stream, we'll be here for another 5 minutes ish. Right, boys and girls, thank you very much for watching or not watching. We'll see you again in the ether of next week.